Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and here I'm comparing the Logitech G502 Lightspeed with the Logitech G502 X Plus. This is an upgrade of the original iconic G502 Lightspeed and features a number of different changes that make it worth talking about. And you can see the white version here. It's also available in black, but as you can see, there are some subtle changes to the G502 in the X Plus that are worth talking about, one of which is the striking RGB lighting, but also a number of hidden things that aren't immediately obvious. For example, it now has 13 programmable buttons instead of just 11, and it also uses optical switches. Now, the G502 Lightspeed was loved by many, and for good reason. It's a fantastic mouse with an interesting setup, a really premium feel to it, and good flagship design. Nice and solid, good premium build quality, excellent look and comfort, great ergonomics, loads of buttons, and plenty of other highlights too. But Logitech has taken that mouse and improved it in a number of ways. One of the complaints that many people had about the G502 originally, for example, was that over time the switches would start to double click and wear out. Now Logitech has made some changes by including optical switches, but also a USB-C cable now. So instead of micro USB as they used to be, you now have USB-C. A lot of the things are still the same though. You'll notice, for example, we still have a similar sort of logic with the 2.4 gigahertz Lightspeed wireless dongle, and you can still obviously plug your mouse in to charge when necessary, although it's a lot easier now thanks to that USB-C connection instead of the micro USB, which is obviously... Now, if you flip both mice over, you'll notice on the other side quite a little bit of a difference there. Obviously, they both have PTFE feet, but one of the things that you will spy is that the underside of the original G502 has a removable panel. So you could take that off and then you could add in some extra weight. So it had an adjustable weight system which allowed you to add in extra weights up to 16 extra grams. So the mouse itself came in at 114 grams, and then you could throw in a bunch of extra weights to customize the overall weight to your own personal preference. And this gave it a good heft and made it feel really premium. Logitech has now shared a lot of weight from the G502 X Plus, and it comes in at around 103 grams to 106, depending on the variants. And this means that it feels a lot more lightweight, although it's certainly not as light as some of the super light mice I've tried out. Both mice do, however, both support Logitech's PowerPlay system, which is a charged mouse mat where you can basically plug in an extra little dongle, and then you can use the mouse indefinitely without having to plug it in, which is pretty fantastic. Now, both these mice are pretty nifty in a number of ways. You'll see multiple different buttons, up to 13 programmable buttons on the G502 X Plus and 11 on the original. So there are some slight changes that aren't immediately obvious there, but you'll also see some other nice ones, including a rubberized side grip. And also the G502 X Plus now has a removable button. So this button on the front is like a sniper button which drops you into a lower DPI when you hold it down, and you can customize that by even removing it. It's held in place with magnets, and the button can be swapped in two different directions, so you can change the angle of it, or as you can see, you could use a blanking plate to get rid of it entirely if you don't want to use it. Under the hood, they have the same hero sensor with up to 25,600 max DPI, but the G502 X Plus uses hybrid optical-mechanical switches. I'm going to leave a sound test, compare the switch sounds and the mouse wheel at the end of this video, so stick around to hear that. But what you'll hear is that both of them have very clicky, satisfying sounds from the buttons. I do think that the mouse wheel is particularly loud on both of them as well, so if you use the original and are hoping for a quieter wheel, you'll be disappointed here. You'll see that you have LEDs to let you know when you're changing DPI levels, so you get a glance at that on both of them, but the positioning has been changed. So on the original G502, it was on the side, now it's on the front. You will also notice that we also now have some rubberized grips on the G502 X Plus versus the sort of plasticky ones on the original mouse. And so a nicer feel and a good fit. So there's some very subtle changes to the mouse overall with the newer model, and it works a lot better in my opinion. It's a lot nicer because of it, and a lot more satisfying to use in various different ways. I do think, as I said, it doesn't feel quite as premium as the original mouse did, perhaps because of the weight shedding. It feels just a little bit lighter and perhaps a bit more flimsy because of it. But it does still have that infinite scroll wheel, which just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning with really smooth action. So both mice have this button behind the mouse wheel, which you can switch between this sort of really loose spinning wheel option or the standard one with sort of more tactile, clicky feedback to it. And so you have the option to switch between them, and it's still fast and fluid and really satisfying and perhaps completely unnecessary depending on your opinion. Left and right click in the mouse wheel and great ergonomics. You'll notice some RGB changes. Obviously with the original mouse, you only really had the G logo that lit up. Now you have a strip across the bottom. This obviously has an interesting impact on battery life, but it's worth noting that the G502X Plus can get up to 120 hours of battery life out of it without RGB, and 37 with it on, whereas the original mouse managed up to 60 hours with no lighting, or 48 with it on. But as I said, with the PowerPlay system, if you use that, you don't need to plug it in, so that's certainly a bonus. So you can see from this video, and hopefully from all the shots, that the G502X Plus is a worthy upgrade. Those optical switches really do make a difference. It's very responsive, and it should be quite a bit more durable over time. Be sure to check out the description for all the other spec comparisons that you need and links to find out more, and stick around now for the sound test. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you found it useful, interesting, hilarious, or all of the above. Be sure to check out the description for other information you might find interesting and useful, as well as these other videos. And click that join button to find out the benefits of being a member of my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.